It's 9 o'clock. This is your news now.
Tonight, the search for a kidnapped boy continues as neighbors try to offer comfort in the face of fear. As a community prepares to mourn the loss of another Austin boy, his former football team decides to honor his memory. And how Mitt Romney's exit from the race for the White House affects Texas Republicans and Democrats.
From Austin's only 24-hour local news channel, with your news now. This is News 8 Austin Tonight.
In broad daylight, they took that little baby. That could have been me and my son and my daughter.
Neighbors share their fear even as they try to offer comfort following the kidnapping of a little boy in Northeast Austin. Thank you for joining us tonight on News 8. I'm Paul Brown. Police are still searching for 5-year-old Adrian Hernandez. He was taken from the back seat of his family's car this morning. According to the family, 3 men described as teenagers wearing white hoodies got out of a car, grabbed the boy, and drove off with him. Police say there may have been a 4th person in the car as well. The attack has neighbors worried for their own safety.
For God's sake, she was in her own driveway with her kids in her car. How do you get any more protected than that? They weren't even walking to school.
A nationwide Amber Alert has been issued for Adrian. He is about 4 feet tall, 50 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a green jacket, black T-shirt, and dark blue pants. If you have any information about the incident, you're asked to call police. That number is 477-3588. Schaefer Bend Park has reopened after a man's body was found there late Wednesday. Burnett County authorities are continuing to investigate what they call a questionable death. The park was temporarily closed while investigators process the scene. The park is in the southern portion of Burnett County on Lake Travis. The body of 44-year-old Alan Wayne Huggins was discovered Wednesday evening shortly after 8 o'clock. An autopsy has been ordered. Bankruptcy, broken promises, and dreams still up in the air. A viewer contacted Your News to tell us about a group of students who showed up to class on Monday to find their school closed. News 8's Russell Wild reports that many of the students are now left with tens of thousands of dollars of debt and an uncertain future.
David Flores has a dream to fly.
Once you fly and you're actually behind the controls, it's exciting.
The father of 2 heard a radio ad promising him the chance to fulfill that dream.
He'd get us financing and make us helicopter pilots in 18 months.
Flores signed up with Silver State Helicopters in New Braunfels, got a $50,000 loan, and began training. In order to get the needed flight hours, he quit his day job and dipped into his savings.
I basically took all my 401k money out to support myself while I was unemployed.
When David Flores came for his class on Monday morning, he found the doors closed and the gates locked.
Till this day, I haven't heard anything from anybody with Silver State. Not a memo, not a letter, not a phone call. Nothing.
Sunday night, the Nevada-based company announced they were bankrupt and closing their doors. Stephen Watson works for Silver State as an instructor in their air traffic control program. He was in the tower when he got the news.
Even though we were no longer Silver State employees and we weren't getting paid, the tower still had to be operating for the safety of the aircraft.
Shane Paybon relocated to Central Texas with his wife to enroll in Silver State's air traffic control program. With close to 70 grand in debt and about 3 months worth of training still to go, he's hoping something gets worked out soon.
My wife, she's devastated right now. It's hard. I mean, like I said, we put everything on the line to come here.
Like Paybon, David Flores is hoping to finish his training. He needs about 3 flight hours to certify as a commercial pilot.
I just can't walk away from it. You know, it's something I've always wanted to do, so I'm not going to walk away from it. My thing is, how do I move forward?
Now he's looking for a new way to fund his dream. Russell Wild, News 8, New Braunfels.
The New Braunfels Police Department is looking into Silver State helicopters and are taking reports from anyone involved. The company operated more than 30 flight schools in 15 states. In a press release, they cited the downturn in U.S. credit markets as the cause of the closure. If you have a story, email it to Your News, or you can also call or write a letter. There's something new landing at St. David's North Austin Medical Center, promising better and faster care. It could save the lives of those in smaller communities. The hospital Thursday unveiled its new helipad. It's a key piece of the puzzle in treating patients more efficiently.
We've really refined our Our care here at our hospital made huge improvements in the time it takes from the time a patient rolls into the door to our hospital, evaluated in the emergency room, right onto the cath lab. And now we're trying to take that and coordinate it with hospitals all around Central Texas.
Now, the new helipad isn't the only new dig scheduled to open at the hospital. A new 377,000 square foot women's facility is scheduled to open in April of next year. Thursday was National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day, and Austin Community College, along with the Wright House, hosted the Stomp Out AIDS event. Organizers say the purpose is to empower African Americans to get tested and know their status.
Walk away with knowledge, walk away with where and how they can get tested, walk away with why it's important to know their status, and just to have a little bit of information about local organizations that are in the fight for HIV awareness.
The free all-day event featured a poetry slam, food, and free and confidential AIDS and HIV testing. Police continue their investigation into the death of 7-year-old Tevin Park Flowers. Flowers was a student at the Not Your Ordinary charter school. He was found unconscious, hanging from a hook inside the school a little more than a week ago. He died shortly afterwards at the hospital. This is video from last year's state championship game in his age division. Flowers and his brother were both on the winning team. News 8's Reagan Hackelman tells us how he'll be remembered by his coach and teammates.
You won't see the number 43 the next time the Delwood Red Raiders take to this field.
We're going to retire his jersey. Nobody from this point on will wear the number.
The number will forever belong to 7-year-old Tevin Park Flowers.
He was a quiet kid, and he was always smiling.
Last year, Tevin and his twin brother, who also plays on the team, smiled all the way to a state championship.
He loved the game. He loved football. He enjoyed it out here. He had some good coaches.
I'll always remember Tevin.
Rocky Silva is the head coach of the Red Raiders.
He was always happy, in a great mood. He would come to practice, maybe missing a shoelace or a mouthpiece or a chin strap, but he would always make it a practice.
Practices that won't be the same now that Tevin's gone.
We just got to be strong about the situation and always keep him in our thoughts and continue doing what we do.
It'll be tough. Hopefully we'll get his brother back, but we're going to come back honoring him.
Honoring an athlete and a teammate who was lost much too young. Reagan Hackelman, News 8 Austin.
A public memorial will take place at the King Tears Mortuary at 1300 East 12th Street. Tevin's funeral will be held Saturday morning at the Mount Zion Baptist Church. Well, after a pleasant day, a cool night ahead of us, and Maureen, I guess, then a little bit more of a warm-up tomorrow. It looks like it's going to be nice over the next several days.
Yeah, pretty much what we had today and yesterday we'll find in the forecast for the next couple of days too, Paul. So perfect timing going into the weekend, and yeah, we'll have those warmer temperatures on the way as well. Yesterday,
Amy will be cutting a rug tomorrow morning. She's learning Dallas-style swing and getting fit for Friday. The dance started in North Texas but has gained popularity in Austin thanks to one couple. How the dance craze is spreading tomorrow morning starting at 6 o'clock. It's now a two-man show for both Democratic and Republican presidential candidates. News 8 Austin's political reporter Katie Beck explores how Mitt Romney's decision to bow out will affect the other campaigns and their plans to head to Texas.
He won 7 states on Super Tuesday, but 2 days later lost his will to fight on in the campaign.
I feel I have to now stand aside for our party and for our country.
Some Texas Republicans were prepared to face a 3-man race after Super Tuesday.
Well, it was a surprise. I think it was a surprise to everybody.
Surprised in a good way, because now Republicans can get behind Delegate Leader John McCain and focus their efforts on winning the general election.
I think he did what he did for the best of the party so that everyone can start rallying around the front runner.
But Romney's surprise step down was not a good one for some Democrats who still have a highly contested primary season ahead.
I'd like for the Republicans to continue cutting each other up and spending money, but I don't think it has any material effect on the Democratic race.
Another surprise for Elliott was the fact that Texas will have a say in the presidential primaries. A month ago, he told us that he predicted Super Tuesday would seal the deal. This surprise was a good one.
I think it's going to help drive up voter turnout, and that's always a good thing.
Elliott says despite the battle on the Democrat side of things, Republicans have an internal battle of their own after many have been critical of McCain's liberal leanings. But some Texas Republicans say it's time for the party to get down to business.
McCain may not have been your first choice, but if he is our candidate, he is certainly going to be a better option than either Hillary Clinton or Mr. Obama.
Another prediction in a campaign season that's been full of surprises. Katie Beck, News 8 Austin.
Candidate Mike Huckabee had plans to be campaigning in Texas next week. Thursday, he canceled his trip because of a scheduling conflict, but says he does plan to reschedule. Senator Clinton and Obama's campaigns tell us they will have representatives in Texas as soon as this weekend. Senator Barack Obama has agreed to face off in a debate with Senator Hillary Clinton in Texas. Obama's camp made the announcement Thursday, though details of where and when have not been given out yet. Some Texans in the Clinton camp had criticized Obama earlier for not yet agreeing to participate in a debate. The importance of the March 4th Texas primary increased after Super Tuesday didn't produce a clear Democratic frontrunner. The Texas debate will take place before the primary. In the meantime, Clinton is setting up field offices in Houston and Austin, and Obama is opening 10 field offices throughout Texas. The senators will also debate in Ohio.
News 8 Sports Trivia is sponsored by Cons. More choices, lower prices.
18 minutes past the hour. Plenty of sunshine was with us throughout the day. Couldn't really find any clouds overhead across the entire region.
The 5-day forecast is sponsored by the all-new Howdy Honda. Test drive their new location, 1 mile east of I-35 on Ben White. HowdyHonda.com.
Some breaking news now here at 9:21. 5-year-old Adrian Jaimez has been found safe. Austin police tell us he was located earlier this evening. Police will be holding a news conference shortly. Again, this is the young boy who was abducted a little bit after 8 o'clock this morning in North Austin. He has been found safe. Those are the details we have. The news conference will be happening here momentarily, and we'll have more on this developing story as we get that.
Time now for the Charles Mont Toyota Sports Report.
The Horns get the first commitment of 2009. Hello and welcome to News 8 Sports. I'm Jeff Power. Here we are less than 24 hours from signing day, and already the Longhorns have their first commitment of 2009. Lake Travis quarterback Garrett Gilbert verbally committed to play football at the University of Texas next year, and that is big news for the Horns. Our own Shane McAuliffe has more.
I am here to announce my commitment to play football at the University of Texas.
And with that, the Horns have their first verbal commitment of 2009.
I'm very excited about this opportunity. I feel very blessed, and I'm looking forward to a great opportunity to go get a great education at Texas and to also play football for one of the best universities in the nation.
The decision to go to Texas for Gilbert was an easy one. Garrett's family moved to Austin back in 1992, and the Lake Travis Jr. started attending Mack Brown's football camps at the age of 7. He personally knows the coaches and is familiar with the system.
It's been my dream ever since I moved to Austin, and as soon as I received the offer yesterday afternoon, I knew that it was the right thing for me.
Gilbert's dad, Gail, played as a quarterback at Cal in the early 80s. He's amazed at how the recruiting process has changed since then.
I think my first letter came in the spring of my junior year during baseball, and now you're making decisions before you're getting. You do a couple unofficial visits and then make a choice.
With Garrett's verbal commitment to Texas, the 12th ranked recruit in the nation can now focus on leading the Cavaliers to another state championship.
Junior Day is this weekend at the University of Texas, which means high school players will get a look at the 40 acres, and some might verbally commit to Texas by Sunday. Jeff Ketchum of OrangeBloods.com says Junior Day is almost as big as signing day around here.
Texas will have a Junior Day on Sunday. It's the first batch of offers that goes out. They're going to pick up their first batch of commitments on that day. So really and truly, as big as signing day is on Wednesday, the bigger story might be on Saturday when you see a large makeup of the 2009 UT recruiting class come into the picture in one fell swoop. And usually, you look at the past 2 years, Texas has been almost done by the end of February and March.
The United States men's soccer team improved to 8-0-2 on American soil since 2000 against Mexico Wednesday night with their 2-2 draw. Game taking place down in Houston at Reliant Stadium. The United States scored the game's first goal as Oguchi Onyewu scored the goal on the header. Now that was nice. Mexico tied it up when Johnny Maguion scored on this nice kick. But the USA would regain the lead later in the first half as 18-year-old Josie Altidore puts it between the pipes with another header. He is the youngest American player in the modern era to score a goal for the U.S. USA appeared to make it 3-1, but offsides was called, and as you can see, Mexico tied the game up early in the second half with another goal from Johnny Maguillon. It was 2-2. That was your final and the highest scoring game between these two teams in 11 years. We caught up to the American players following the game who were not satisfied with the tie, but they'll take it.
On a given night, anything can happen, so I think we're happy with the draw. For a little better, we win the game.
The last couple of times we played them pretty tough, and I think slowly, we're starting to earn a lot of respect around the world, actually.
Pat Knight making his head coaching debut, just 902 wins behind his dad. Check out Baylor's Kevin Rogers bringing the house down. He rocked all of Waco with that one. Bears led it by 2 at the half, but Texas Tech cuts it down to just 1 in the second when Damir Suljagic hits the jumper. Now, when the Bears need a bucket, they go to the pride of Del Valle. We're talking about Curtis Geralds, who sticks the 3. He led Baylor with 16 points, and good night to the Red Raiders. Baylor wins it 80-74. University of Texas softball begins the new season this weekend at McCombs Field. The Horns were picked to finish 5th in the Big 12 at the start of the year, ranked 22nd in the country, but they think they have the potential to be even better. Texas will ride an experienced pitching staff led by senior ace Megan Denny and sophomore Aaron Tressett. The Horns also welcome talented freshman Brittany Barnhill, who will pitch and hit. Offensively, Tally Thrasher is back after hitting a team single-season record 12 home runs a year ago. As they start the new year, the Horns hope to exceed expectations.
Our conference is very, very well balanced. So it was hard to do the preseason rankings because it could be anybody's championship, I think, this year, regular season and on into the tournament. So we like it that way. I think it bodes well for having just a great strength of conference.
I don't think they realized how much all of us sophomores matured. We all got a lot of playing time last year as newcomers, and we've really grown a lot.
News 8 Sports is brought to you by Charles Mon Toyota.
28 minutes past the hour, the picture over the lower 48, a little bit more quiet compared to what we had just a few days ago.
Thanks for joining us for News 8 Austin here at the bottom of the hour. I'm Paul Brown, and here's what we're following for you. Well, the search for a 5-year-old Austin boy has come to a happy conclusion. Adrian Gonzalez was taken from the back seat of his family's car this morning. Austin police say he was found safe earlier this evening. Police are holding a news conference in about a half an hour, and we'll, of course, have much more on this for you. Again, this was the situation where this young boy was taken from the car in his driveway a little bit after 8 this morning before heading to elementary school. His mother tried to get him out of the car that was taking him away, but now police telling us that he has been found and he is safe. So we will continue to follow this. The news conference will be here in about a half an hour, and we'll have much more coming up here on News 8. Not Your Ordinary School will hold a meeting for students' parents Friday morning. That's the school where 7-year-old Tevin Park Flowers was found in a locker room hanging by his collar. He later died from his injuries. A source tells News 8 that close to 22 students have been withdrawn from Not Your Ordinary School, both at the Magnolia McCullough campus where Tevin was found and its secondary school campus. Tevin and his twin brother both played for the Delwood Red Raiders midget football team, and the league president says the team plans to honor Tevin.
It'll be tough. Hopefully we'll get his brother back, but we're going to come back honoring him. We're going to retire his jersey. Nobody from this point on will wear the number.
The public viewing for Tevin will be held Friday at the King Tears Mortuary on 12th Street in East Austin. That will be from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. Schaefer Bend Park has reopened after a man's body was found there late Wednesday. Burnett County authorities are continuing to investigate what they call a questionable death. The park was temporarily closed while investigators processed the scene. The park is in the southern portion of Burnett County on Lake Travis. The body of 44-year-old Alan Wayne Huggins was discovered Wednesday evening shortly after 8 o'clock. An autopsy has been ordered. Texas inmates will now get a break in the way they pay their court fines. The fines used to be paid separately for each crime committed. Now, under a Texas Court of Criminal Appeals ruling, defendants will pay the largest fine assessed by the court, and then every other fine is considered paid in full. The new practice brings fines in line with the way many prison terms are served. Okay, move over, Rachel Ray and Bobby Flay. Austin's got some budding talent in the kitchen. Recently, our Christina Chavez found a new wave of culinary artists who aren't letting small steps hurt their big dreams.
Here's your recipes. Let's go over our ingredients really quick.
There's one key ingredient missing.
We're gonna pour our dough out on our table.
Our chefs are very
yummy,
young
one for you.
chefs.
Shredded Marzone cheese.
Mozzarella.
We'll give him a break. After all, he's only 8 years old.
And then cut them up into small pieces. Good.
It's fun.
Good job, Nate.
I like to make it a lot.
Nate
I wanted to do this.
and his buddy Tristan are making calzones.
Bologna.
A little entertainment in the kitchen never hurt.
You need to knead your dough, right?
And they do.
Press down and fold.
Kneading, slicing, cutting, and mincing.
All right.
They know it all.
Nowadays, everything's out of a box or a bowl or frozen section.
Roll north, south.
And they teach them here to pull the ingredients together.
Take your little knife and spread it around in the center.
You gotta love that look of sheer concentration on Nate's face, tongue out and everything.
I'm gonna take a couple olives here, trying some spinach.
Nate's not a big fan.
You gotta put at least one vegetable in your pocket.
Just a fraction of a leaf makes it into his
You're
tasty
going
treat.
to fold it over each other, and then you're going to make a seam on the edges.
Looks like a girl.
A little brush of olive oil, then it's baking time for these youthful creations.
15 minutes in our oven that we preheated to 450 degrees.
Boys, they can't help themselves. Usually they have everybody do it for them. It's a mama's normal thing to do, is just to do it for them.
But Nate knows one of these days he's on his own.
When I grow up and I move out of my mom's house, I can cook myself.
With a desire to cook for everyone else.
She gives us the recipes and we take them home when we're done.
Yeah, let them pick a recipe. You do what you want to do. You tell me, and we'll put it out there for all of our friends and family. And it was just fun to see how excited they were.
Nate wants to take his talents to the next level. Has his sights set on being the next Emeril Lagasse.
He just makes a lot of weird stuff.
It's really cool to see your son look at somebody and see somebody do something, not just a pencil pusher.
Only thing Nate's pushing on is his calzone to see if it's cool enough to eat. And that sliver of spinach he unwillingly put in there.
I didn't even see it and I ate it all.
Whipped up by some small hands. Taking a bite out of the best part of the job. With one of your neighbors, Christina Chavez, News 8 Austin.
Nate is trying to become a master chef at the Young Chefs Academy. He's only got 2 more tests to go before he can get a coveted chef jacket. Congratulations to him. If you know someone who you would like to see profiled on your neighbor, send us an email. You can find a submission form on our website. That's news8austin.com. Just click on your news.
These pictures are from the Winterfest Snow Sculpting Contest in Houghton, Michigan. Several groups worked through the night to turn piles of snow into elaborate art. This year's theme is frightful creatures with chilling features. Judges will critique the sculptures on overall appearance and finer details like ice and lettering. The winner of the annual contest will be decided later. So certainly a very interesting event there in Houghton, Michigan. Moving on to what's happening back here at home, we're going to check in with your watering schedule first.
The 5-day forecast is sponsored by Public Employees Credit Union.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis as Columbus sets sail on a voyage of science to the space station.
The Space Shuttle Atlantis launched into space Thursday afternoon. A cold front with strong winds threatened the launch, but the weather cleared in time. Atlantis and its 7 astronauts are heading to the International Space Station to deliver a $2 billion science lab. The mission was delayed 2 months because of a fuel gauge problem. You're looking at the first place winners in the science fair at Sale Charter School in Northeast Austin. Did you know that strawberries don't have any DNA? That's just one of the lessons the students learned. They also examined which teeth whitener works the best. The contestants will now take their winning entries to a regional competition. Austin musician Dan Dyer has long been regarded as one of Austin's best pure singers. But after a series of bad record deals and disappointments, friends, family, fans, and Dyer himself believe the third time might be the charm. News 8 Austin's Andy Langer explains how Dyer's new record, his third one, seems like a new beginning.
I know they must be crazy. Don't see their misfortune. I guess just too lazy.
As a teenager, Dan Dyer found local success fronting Austin's Breedlove. Later, he'd make a record produced by Lenny Kravitz. He's long been regarded as one of Austin's best pure singers. But if there's been a question mark around his career, it's been that perhaps Dan Dyer's never seemed to know exactly who Dan Dyer is.
Still don't know who I am. I still don't, but I think I'm more comfortable with that now. You know, I'm a big advocate of trying to explore to see, you know, what interests you and who you might be, and that obviously changes. I mean, I would hate to feel like I had it figured out when I was 18 years old. Yeah, I guess I'm more comfortable with the process of not knowing.
What Dyer does know is that he's a singer, a big, powerful singer. And it's obvious on his new self-titled record, an album that doesn't hide influences like Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway, and Dr. John. Talents that sang naturally, from the gut. Voices that convey genuine emotion.
I love that. I love having that within you, within your voice. You know, having the voice to do that. I didn't have to sit around and do scales 8 hours a day, or you know, it's within me, and it's something I can bring anywhere.
Dyer believes his new record marks a new beginning. There's no hype, no big machine behind him, just an album he's genuinely proud to have made.
You know, I come into this with really nothing to lose. And the great thing is that I've never, besides some local attention, nobody knows who I am. In a way, I feel like this is my first record, even though it's my third. You know, to me, it's you know, back to the beginning. It absolutely feels like the beginning. It feels like I'm working with people I want to work with, and that I'm writing songs I actually like, and that there's no pressure. So it's great.
With your backstage pass, Andy Langer, News 8 Austin.
Dan Dyer will celebrate the release of his new self-titled record with a Waterloo Records performance and signing next Thursday. That's Valentine's Day. It's happening at 5 p.m., followed by a show at Momo's February 16th. You can also hear him perform live on KUT-FM this Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock.
Lung disease affects millions of people across the nation every year. But the American Lung Association has made it its mission to change that. LungUSA.org is the best source on the internet that has everything you need when it comes to treating, living with, and preventing lung disease. Among other things, the site highlights ways to quit smoking, combat asthma, complete allergy forecasts, and even ways to get involved in your local chapter of ALA. The more you know about the effect of everyday environment on your lungs, the healthier you'll be. Getting brand new websites in our email makes us breathe a little easier. Send the best you find to websightings at news8austin.com.
Websightings is sponsored by Capital Hyundai, 10 minutes south of Austin, 866-542-6666. Neighborhood News is sponsored by Terra Vista. Come home to things that matter.